Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
Welcome, everybody. Uncivilized, we're back. We had to come back in here. It is a mess outside, but it's nice and warm in here. And we're going to get to a little bit of that, but we got a guest. We got a very, very special guest that everybody on the Uncivilized knows.
An old friend.
An old friend. An old friend.
Gentlemen.
Good morning to you.
Top of the morning to you.
To what do I owe the pleasure upon this pimpin'?
Yes. Jackson Luis Canning. That's not his middle name.
Oh, I was about to say, I didn't know that. I was like, okay.
Not.
Hot Link Cannon is what
Hot Links.
And
it's a family name.
Oh, it's just a family name. The Links. It's a pleasure to bring on just a great, great friend, a great person, a jack of all trades. And let's get right into it. Jackson, how you doing, buddy?
Old friend. I'm doing great, man. First time caller, long time listener.
There you go.
I love what you guys are doing.
Love what you
guys are doing, man.
Yeah,
This is great.
I met Jackson in the year 2000 from a friend of ours named Dan Wilson, who I went to acting school with in Chicago. And Jackson himself, we kind of have the same kind of path. We both did acting in high school, then went to basically conservatory style schools. Jackson for sure. He went to PCPA. And where is that at, Jackson?
Central California.
Now, did you audition for a lot of schools, or did you just kind of hone in on that one?
I auditioned for a few. That was the one I chose. A little thing I don't talk about all that much, but I was seriously considering going to clown college instead, the one in France or the one in Florida. But I took the classically trained route instead. And I mean, who knows? I'd be on unemployment with Cirque du Soleil like everybody else if I would have went and done that in a professional French-speaking ass clown. But I never would have met you.
No.
I never would have met you because it was of PCPA and Dan Wilson that brought us together. And you can't put a price tag on that, man.
No, you can't put a price tag on friendship. Couple of besties here. Jackson and I, for pretty much a decade, did comedy at the Laugh Factory Comedy Store.
We did a decade of comedy. Yeah.
DC Juicy. And
I've got a picture of it right here.
Yeah.
If you'd like to see it.
Yeah, go ahead with the photo.
It came up on my Facebook memories. It's the 13 years ago today, the Juicy Sizzle Reel.
Hey, Zach, have you seen any of this?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Here's a little photo, though. I got a question. Who the fuck are these guys?
Yeah,
Wow.
That's me and Jackson.
I've got two questions. Who the fuck are these guys, and what the fuck is going on? I got one other photo
Jackson.
just to give a little.
Yeah.
I got one other photo just talking about our backstory, right? This photo.
Classic.
This photo is
Wow.
the second time that Moo and I ever hung out. Now look at that. Moo is rocking the kappa. I mean, look, I don't know. I look like a representative for Red Bull at the Warp Tour. I'm a roadie for Crazy Town or like Sugar Ray or something.
Yeah, Sugar.
Yeah. Hey, you girls want to get backstage? Right this way.
Yes, exactly.
So that's letting everybody know basically the long history of Jackson and I.
Long time.
And
Long time.
just a long time. Classic fucking friends. I mean, Jackson right now is tearing up the game, doing voiceover artist. And I really want to jump kind of right into that. And maybe you guys have some questions or just thoughts about that. What exactly how is that game, Jackson? I know, but for the audience just didn't know you right now. Voiceover artistry.
I mean, Well, we have experience. I mean, that's all I can really talk about the industry in general. You know, I mean, what we're not going to do is we're not going
to. Did he fall off?
I lost him for a
You know-
second.
Oh, we lost you, buddy.
Am I back?
You're
Yeah.
back.
Okay. Sorry,
There we
technical
go.
difficulties.
That's all right.
Yeah, I mean, what can I say about the voice over industry? I mean, for me personally, my path, like,
Yeah.
it's, you know, it's a dream come true. It's the job I've always wanted to do.
Mhm.
You know, I mean, I think we could definitely talk about some of the misconceptions of what.
That's what I
'cause
want to
there's-
get into.
Yeah, because there's so many actors going like, what do I do now? You know, what do I do? I mean, the on-camera stuff is like slowly clicking back.
It
You
is.
know, but the voiceover industry, you know, I mean, it's just been when everything got put on hold, all of the animated stuff that was maybe not getting made, maybe got passed on. They're like, I mean, you said this best, Moo. You're like, you know, studios are going like, we can make that right now.
Yes.
That's not dependent on COVID.
Yep.
So,
Yes.
you know, projects that got passed on that maybe weren't, you know, everybody's first choice. They're like, no, let's have another look at that one. You know,
Yes.
I mean, what that actually looks at, and like, you know, Moo and you and I talk a lot about like how many auditions you going on, you know, and like what that looks like for on-camera stuff. And, you know, like what, you know, I'm very fortunate. My week averages, you know, I don't know, probably about 5 auditions a week minimum for
Nice.
voiceover.
I've
Nice.
total, guys, just to put in perspective, I've gone on about 6 or 7 auditions in 5 months.
Wow.
For
That's
So
voiceovers?
Jackson,
Yeah.
huh?
For voiceovers?
No, for on camera.
Oh, for on camera. Shit.
Just,
yeah, well, yeah,
just
that makes
audition.
sense. Yeah.
So Jackson goes on what I've gone on in 5 months. Brian in a week.
That's
wow.
wild.
In a week.
Wow.
But I mean,
And
that makes
for
sense. Yeah.
Yeah, it totally makes sense. And for the audience, Jackson has always been able, and Brian knows this because Brian knows Jackson very well. We all do. Jackson is a man that can just drop into voices. Very
yeah, yeah.
talented
Oh,
guy.
yeah.
One of the most talented guys with the energy that is out there in the game right now. So if you're
Thank
listening,
you.
he definitely is someone that you need to be listening to about getting into the game right now and maybe taking that turn as an actor who looks at voiceover guys as, like me and Jackson talked about, oh, those are those guys that just do cartoon voices. Well, those are also
Right.
the guys that are now booking everything.
Yeah.
Get your head out of your ass.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
acting
Yeah.
is acting. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I
And-
think that's one of the biggest misconceptions that that actors have about like what the voiceover game is. Like in, you know, just for example, talking to my brother. My brother's, you know, he lives out in New York. Does, you know, my posse's on Broadway. You know, he's done some shows.
Yeah.
He's, you know, got a lot of TV credits under his belt. You know, a couple of films that, and he, you know, as I started talking to him about voiceover, he's like, yeah, that's cool, but you know, like that's your thing. Like, you know, you do accents, dialects, and characters and shit like that, but I don't really do that. And I was like, oh, right. That's what you think voiceover is.
Yeah.
Like, you know, people
Yeah.
go like, they're not looking just to cast like the guy who's going to do the new voice of Porky Pig, you know, like there is that, you know,
Yeah.
of course, like there's, you know, there's those actors that do character voices, but so much of what the casting is right now is they're looking for real voices and real actors.
Mhm.
Real actors. They're not looking to hear if, you know, if you can do the, oh, geez, God, that looks like 66%, fellas. You know, they're not just looking for that. They're looking for somebody who can come in and translate acting onto the microphone. You know, so all these actors who, you know, have the misconception that like, oh, I can't do that. That's not my game. It's like, you know, I mean, there's a great phrase that my agent, who's a very, very wise woman and, you know, very big in the industry, you know, she says, you know, actors come to her all the time saying, I've always been good at voices and characters, and I can do dialects and stuff, and people always say I should do voiceover. And she says, that's nice. I got a question. Can you act? That's really what the game is about. It's like, if you can act and you can learn to translate that to the microphone and shift that acting into the microphone, there are jobs out there, that they're looking for your voice that is a match for that character, just your natural speaking voice and being able to translate that to the microphone. That's what's really working. In the voiceover commercial, I would say 9 out of 10 on the audition copy, it says in big, bold lettering, absolutely nothing slick, nothing polished, nothing announcery, So they're not
Jackson,
looking.
Give us an example. Give us like
the movie phone. Yeah, the movie phone voice.
Give me what that voice, do, and then give me what to do.
Right. Okay. Yeah. So the old times of Zach just said what did you just say, Zach?
The movie phone.
Do that.
Movie phone.
Yeah. My mother's C-section scars shows today at 5:13, 7:14, and 9:12. That's going to be for a parody only. But the big announcery stuff of it's coming this summer. It's Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. That's not what commercials sound like anymore.
No.
They sound like the regular guy. Who's just the new iPhone came out last week, and I don't know if I can afford it. But then they offered me financing. And I said, fuck it. How many times am I going to get to shoot porn from the quality of this high res from my own home? That's why I got an Apple financing loan. Check with your local dealer. So this is more conversational. Is really
that was great.
Well done. Well done.
That was great. Yeah, people, Jackson, there's a lot of actors and just people wanting to get in it that actually watch this. Let them know and kind of explain what do they need in their home that they can do this.
That's what
that's a very, very good question. So, just what you need on a technical level. I'm not looking at exactly what y'all are working with over there, but you have, just to do this podcast, a modest investment, and I would just venture to guess that you have different grade quality stuff. Like maybe, Brian's got a better mic than Moo, but the headphones that Zach has are, because he's a musician, are top quality. You can get something that works that is going to get the job done for not an obscene investment.
Yeah.
It's absolutely doable. The one thing I will say is that because of COVID, the bar is being raised significantly.
Boom.
In terms of as to what is expected from the talent turning in their auditions. What might have worked before, where they're like, okay, cool, we'll just bring you in and you'll do, and you can do the session. They want to know, cool, what are you recording on? What are you recording on?
Yeah.
Can you do this from home? Do you have the technology that you can actually produce broadcast quality from your own home? And if you don't, okay, well, then we're going to look at whether or not we can bring you in to the studio, to do that. Yeah. But in terms of what it really needs is a space in which you can do it, adequate soundproofing, and the microphone. The microphone, and Moo and I had talked about this a lot, is that as this happened, with COVID going into lockdown, the things that start selling out of Amazon really quick. Weight sets for people who can't go to the gym. Good luck finding that. People who are now getting into voiceover and want to, get their home set up, they cleared that out. We were looking at mics for Moo, and this was a couple of weeks ago. The first available time that you could get delivered the microphone we wanted to get for him was the end of September. And that was a month ago.
Yeah. Yeah. When I get back, Zach, we're gonna set up the mic because we all have the same uniform mic.
Uh-huh.
But I still separately want to get that voiceover mic.
Absolutely.
Then I was talking to a friend of ours named Kaylin, who's in Blue Man Group, who I think is going to be our guest next week.
Oh.
We're gonna have a little blue man in.
Oh,
big guy.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
So he's gonna be coming on the podcast next week, and he was like, "Oh, just having that styrofoam, like just having the casing,
soundproof,
can also help. Also, yeah, I mean, now is the time, like Jackson's saying, that if you want to, people listening to this, get into it. It's kind of the time to do it because those projects aren't going to get any fewer. If anything, they're going to become
They're
more.
expanding. Oh, yeah.
I just told you, I've only been on like 7 fucking things. And Jackson's also correct. Now, Zach and Brian and the audience, I had to buy lights. I had to buy a tripod. I had to get a screen. I had to like learn a little bit more editing. I just can't, just to break down these things so they look like quality. Because Jackson's right. You send in something, they're like, well, this looks like shit because Joe Blow in Hollywood is taking it more serious than you. And that's with anything in life right now with COVID. You're seeing people kind of taking things a lot more serious. You know what I mean? It's kind of the time to look yourself in the mirror and kind of be like, what do I really want to do with my life? Not to put anything on and it's not a down note, but my youngest sister just got COVID. She's in the hospital right now. The one for the wedding, Brian, my heavyweight, the overweight sister, that's a nurse.
Wow.
She's in the hospital right now with COVID, and her blood oxygen is like 50%. So and I called her today, sent flowers to the hospital room, and you could just hear it in her.
Sounds like she's drowning.
Yeah.
In her lungs.
Yeah, that's where my uncle was too.
Yeah. So, this is the time. If you're alive, live. Me and Brian always say, hey, live your life. We also say, don't worry about what the fuck I be doing. But
we do say that.
We do say that a lot. So that's kind of the arts section of this, Jackson breaking it down for people listening, because I know people are going to be like, well,
I mean, I would really, just suggest, because there's a lot of easy ways to go astray with it, is find a good class, find a good coach, start doing it. Don't go pulling any triggers too prematurely. Like one of the biggest mistakes people make is like, I want to do voiceover. I want to do my demo right now. And they're not ready. So then you spend this time, this money, you make a demo that people listen to, they go, yeah, wow, he's not ready to do this at all. Somebody told him that he could do voiceover. And, so like take the time, do it right, get under somebody who can give you the right tutelage, be smart about it, Don't just throw something together. Like, I mean, something that Moo touched on that I really just want to echo is the level of professionalism and how seriously people are taking this. Like Moo's putting it together, like he could shoot, a decent independent movie in his living room.
Yes.
That's because Moo's a professional and he knows that work begets work, And there's people that are taking this really seriously, the voiceover game. And they're like, cool, what do I need to do? Right on. I'm going to do everything on that list and I'm going to do it 100%. You know? So, and that's who you're up against. The people that are working on their craft and they have all their technical together and, they're working under somebody who's constantly raising their game, It's just, there's too many people who want this so badly and are really putting in the due diligence to do it right. The level of professionalism is really high, So, I mean, do you want to be a professional or do you want to be cute? That's, kind of.
That's the real deal. Even, Brian and Zach on there and what they do, they don't fuck around. I will tell you something though, Zach and I'll let a little secret out. I used to work when bars were open, and we're going to segue into that because Jackson, I know, has some beautiful stories about me at the bar.
Nobody's going to hear this. No one's going to hear this,
like
right?
Brian's losing up. He's like, okay.
I know Jackson has managed quite a few bars. So my question would be, I want your top 3 locations: small bites, selection of beers, wines. Give me your top 3 in Los Angeles.
We're doing this. We're doing this.
Okay.
Brian's dropping the hammer.
Okay. All right, we're gonna do.
Look at Zach.
I'm gonna take notes too.
These
Yeah.
fucking lists y'all just drop on people out of nowhere.
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
God damn it.
I mean, I'll be honest. I don't do a lot of commuting in this time of like, oh, let's see what's happening 50 miles away from here,
Yeah.
But if I'm going to go out on date night, if we're going to do a date night, like, it's got to be special, I mean, it's got to be like before, I was like, hey, it's date night. Like I'm going to drop a minimum of $100, even if it's just, to go stare at a wall. I'm cool with that. Now, like, we gotta be real choosy.
Yeah.
My girl's she's a total nerd. So she's just pulling up all the best of lists and stuff. And so then we kind of compile it down of places we want to try. So I'll tell you my favorite one that we've had as of late. I can start with that. Cause like, I'm a Hollywood cat, I mean, that's where I've lived most of my life. That's where I gravitate towards in terms of vibe and food. I mean, there's tons of options everywhere, but like this is my hood. The best date night we had in a while was we went to Mama Shelter, which is down like Central Hollywood. We're talking like Selma, just west of Cahuenga.
Yeah,
and they got a rooftop situation, right? And I mean, I'm sure you guys have talked about burgers countlessly. Ms. Moo is quite the aficionado when it comes to the burgers.
Yeah.
And I saw on their menu, like the burger was $25.
God damn.
Get the fuck out of here.
Right? I believe, I might be wrong, but it was 20 something. And I saw that, and that was my reaction. I was just like, who the fuck do you think you are, $25? Who do you think you are? But then I was like, $25 burger? Like, all right, I'm going to get this just so I can be pissed off about it.
Okay.
Just so I can be angry and be like, hey, I have a question. Is everything okay, sir? Yeah, everything's fine. Everything's great. Hey, can I talk to your manager really quickly? No, everything's, come here. It's fine. Hey, oh, you're the manager. Great. So I just want to talk to you. I had the burger. I just want to talk about my experience. And just like lay into this guy, right?
Yeah.
So I ordered the burger and classic burger. All right. From Menus Johnson. I'm going to break it down. It's, it's a classic.
He needs details.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
I mean, was it lightly toasted? Give me all the sauces in there.
I will break it down. Okay. So the bun itself, we'll start with the bun. It was pillowy like prom night. It was very, very lightly buttered, and then just like flashed underneath the salamander. So it just had like a McDonald's commercial kind of golden brown on the top, but not toasted. Okay. Just a little crisp to the shell. Then we had lettuce, big leaf, butter lettuce.
Yes.
Thinly sliced tomato, not too much. It was like, like maybe a 1/4 inch and just two, just like that.
Perfect.
Had like kind of their spin on a Thousand Island, some homemade pickles. But really what it was about was this patty, right? Because I mean, a burger stands and falls on the patty itself.
That beefy patty.
Yeah.
They're beefy.
And holy shit, like this burger was, I don't eat a lot of meat, but I want to know like where the best burger is. And it was immediately after having this bite, I was like, I beg your pardon. I am so sorry. I'm so embarrassed.
My fault. My excuse.
I'm breaking off like guilty 20s to the busboys. Shame.
Harriet Tubman 20s. You're breaking off fresh Harriet Tubman 20s.
Fresh tubbies for the bussies. This burger was like, there you go. I'll be back. It was, I don't know if it was worth $25, but it was pretty fucking good. It was a serious burger. And then we and it's a rooftop. It's a beautiful rooftop. You're overlooking into the Hollywood Hills. You're looking at the Hollywood sign. The music was a little drippy, a little trappy for me, but it was cool. It's it was just like a 2-piece in the sunshine sort of vibe. It had a real like hotel vibe. But that burger, man, I mean, put it on your list for sure. The Mama Shelter.
So Mama Shelter's the spot.
That was definitely my favorite date night out we've had in the past month. We did that, and then we went down, and a block from there is the Record Parlor.
Yes.
And you know how I am about my vinyl collection. Yes. So so we do that. We glove it up, we mask it up, then we get in there and we just do a little flipping in the crates, and it was just a nice semblance of a clean hang, semblance of normalcy. It was a sexy date night. Girl got all dressed up, and we did it up. It was really cool. Yeah,
nice. There's a spot in Hollywood, Jackson. I mean, I think it's that Zach told me about. 99 burgers. Now we're talking
burgers,
about
99. Yeah,
that was speaking my language. So
that's not even the spot though. The best burger in LA is in Silver Lake. It's Burgers Never Say Die. I will fight anybody to the death.
Burgers never say die.
Burgers never say die.
Hawkins Burger is good too in Watts.
Hawkins is a good burger.
Honky's Burgers.
Hawkins. Honky.
There's a place named Honky's Burgers down in the hood. Yeah. It's not there anymore. It got burned down. They burned it to the ground, but wow.
Jeez, Jackson.
God damn, Jackson. I got the water. I should have brought some Aleve. I mean, you're bringing it on Uncivilized right now. With these
Debbie, this is, podcasts are like the time machines where actors get to go in the future and end their careers. So, I just like to keep it on brand.
Oh my God. So you've done like Brian had said, you have worked in a lot of spots. We have worked together. You and Zach actually are both MAR managers and jacks of all trade when it comes to that. And both of you have worked with me. Zach will tell,
how are we going to go into this segment? I mean, we should have some.
And do we really want to do this?
Rules for your own protection. How do you want to do this, Bill?
Yeah, I don't think he wants to do this.
Oh Lord, man.
Zach has seen me. I don't know. In some crazy things at Oldfields. What is the craziest thing you've seen me do while working at a nightclub?
Wow.
Or Jack. I mean, Brian's like, I don't.
Again, you don't want me to answer that question.
Yeah, exactly.
You absolutely don't want to answer the question. Yeah. Okay, I'll give you your top categories, right?
Yeah.
The categories are indecent exposure, unsolicited violence, racial profiling.
What about the Foundry story, and then the other story at the nightclub by Dan Tana's?
Oh, that one? Okay, I think that's okay. That one's probably safer. The Dan Tana one.
Yeah.
So this is a long time ago. So, I mean, basically, like when Moo and I started, like that picture I showed of you guys, like that was our second hang.
Yeah.
And from then on, Moo and I hung out constantly.
Yes.
Constantly.
Yeah, all the time.
I mean, multiple days through the week. And at this particular time, Moo was working at a spot right next to Dan Tan's. What was it called? The
Latin Lounge. Yeah.
The Latin Lounge. Now it's called like the Doheny or something like that.
Yes.
Anyway, I at the time was working in Beverly Hills. So I would finish work and drive down Santa Monica Boulevard and stop at Moo's work every single night after I was done working. He would be working, I would come and see him, and then I would hang out there until closing time. So this one particular time, and the way the lounge was, like, there's the upstairs and then kind of like a spiral staircase that went to the downstairs. And Moo's Moo's primary thing was at the end of the night was getting everybody to get the fuck out of there, right? You know, so Moo's doing his thing. You know, I mean, you know how loud and big his voice is. He can spill, you know, he can fill the room, and he's like, "All right, buddy, time to close, off the stairs," you know, yelling at people.
Get the fuck out.
And he's upstairs trying to clear the inside out, and he's yelling at people, and he, you know, just kind of walks up to this guy, and he's like, "All right, buddy, time to go." And this guy, I mean, to be fair, he was probably, let's see, I'm 6'1", 6'2". This guy was probably like 5'9", maybe 5'10". And he tries to have a debate with Moo about, I was something to the extent of like, you know, hey man, it's cool, I can stay. And Moo's like, "No, you can't. You got to get out of here. You got to go right now." And the guy's like, "Hey, listen, man, I'm friends with the guy who throws the night, and just be cool. Just be cool." He's like, "But I'm going to tell you one more time, you got to go. I don't give a fuck who you know, you need to leave right now." And the guy keeps talking. And then Moo does this. And if anybody has seen Moo bounce, all right, this is what will happen. He'll go like this. And his head clicks to the left. If you ever see Moo's head click to the left, that is the moment before it happens.
Run.
Every time. I've seen this at least a dozen times. And he just goes, and he clicks to the left. That's his tell. And I already know this, and I see that. I'm just like, oh, here we go. And Moo takes this guy by the lapels, and he throws him up in the air like it was a bag of potato chips, right? Just throws him up. And the ceilings are not low. Like it's like a good 10 feet up. He throws him, the guy's back hits the ceiling, and he drops. And then Moo grabs him by the back of his collar and then proceeds to walk him down the stairs, pulling him by the scruff of his neck, like, you know, like the opening credits to Dynasty or something. He's just like slowly walking down. What Moo doesn't see is as he's pulling this guy down the stairs, his pants are slowly coming further and further down his legs. And by the time he gets to the base of the stairs, his pants are around his ankles and he's bare-assed out. And I'm like, "Moo! Moo!" And I'm yelling at him, and he looks back, and Moo just sees this guy's bare ass out and just goes, "Ha ha!" and drops it. And like some cocktailer's like, "Excuse me," and like just like steps over the guy bare-assed out. That's one of my favorite ones. The one thing I'll say about all of Moo's extreme bouncing days from the early days, I mean, because you have to remember, Moo came from the Troubadour, and he'd work like metal shows, like the mosh pits and stuff, and he would just take, you know, throwing people.
Like literally, I'm getting punched in the face, they're punching me in the face. One time, Brian, this kid was like, "It's crazy, huh?" I stuck my tongue out, and it was all blood because I'd been hit in the face with a chair. And I said, "It sure is." And I drank my own blood. He was like, these aren't the George we're looking for. This is crazy. Like, you just getting fights in the Troubadour. It was just like, you knew, shit was going to happen. There's a reason I'm missing a tooth back in here, because it chipped, and I kept it in, and I never went to the dentist. Me and Zach are definitely fraidy cats when it comes to that. But yeah, it just was a rough time. Jackson was working a lot of bars, and like very famous. I remember I'd be out with Jackson, or me and Brian would be out with Jackson. We could go anywhere. We could go to a goddamn convenience store, and the Indian guy's like, "Hello, Jackson." Like, everybody knew Jackson. And by hanging out with Jackson, I can honestly say all of my jobs, where I'm living at, and the way I move around Los Angeles is because of one person. That's Jackson Kennedy. I would not know this city that way. I would not have the jobs I had. There's so many jobs that begot other jobs because of Jackson. I've never told you this, but thank you very much for being my tour guide and mentor through the city of Los Angeles. Without you, I probably would not have made it, and I probably would have moved. Because without having a friend and then being able to be stupid and just exude so much very weird comedy Like
So
you have to
much work.
understand, at some
Crazy.
point I was wearing a pussy outfit. I would yell at fuck you. We would literally leave the stage and I was like, I hope you didn't like the show. Fuck everybody in here. And we would just walk away. And his dad, TC, who did all the music, he'd be like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. And he would just walk out. Or TC would be like, man, you know, guys, like, these people paid money to come see this show. We'd cuss
That
the
was
audience
Moo's,
out.
well, two things. But the last thing you just said, I mean, Moo's rule always was, he said, if 3 out of 10 people at our shows don't leave pissed off, we haven't done our jobs.
Yeah.
Like, that's a disappointing show unless 3 people at some point in our show didn't just go like, I don't have to sit here for this shit. People would get really, really pissed off. I mean, they would.
What a good show.
Yeah. I mean, the show was, it was so racial. It was so racial. And, you know, I mean, for me, I definitely, you know, had many moments. I'm like, hey, Moo, are you sure about this shit? And, you know, Moo would always say like, it's going to be fine, buddy. It's cool. I'm like, okay. I mean, yeah.
My thing was always, if they had a problem with it, they could come talk to me, and they're probably not going to have a problem with it once they talk to me. I mean, me and Brian, what you're watching, guys, with the Uncivilized, is a really unique moment for the show because you're talking about 4 guys that truly know each other pretty damn well. Now, Jackson and Zach are friends, but they don't have the time, but they do know each other. This isn't, you know what I mean? But like Jackson, Brian, and we know, like, God damn, Jackson and Brian have to known each other for a decade. Easily. Longer than that. Easily.
At least. And, you know, I didn't say this in the very beginning, but thank you so much for having me on because, like, I just miss the hell out of you guys. You know, I've seen Moo in passing once. I mean, once since this whole thing happened. And Brian, the last time, and Zach, the last time I saw you was at Thanksgiving that Moo had. That's the last time I've seen you. Although I've talked to you a little bit, you know, on the phone, this is the first time I'm actually getting to see your faces, you know, as close to the flesh since Thanksgiving, which is coming up like
again.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
So,
wow.
So thank you so much for bringing me in. It's like I really, really do miss you guys. And you know, if I could just like hijack the mic for a second and just say like, you know, as friends, I'm so proud of you guys that you're doing your thing. You're doing this. You know, I mean, I had a lot of conversations with Brian going way back of like, you know, going like, yeah, I'm thinking about doing this podcast thing. And I'm like, that's cool, man. Yeah, you should totally do that. And the next time I see like, how's that podcast? Yeah, I'm just, you know, I want to do it right. And I'm getting it in together. And I was actually looking at our text messages, Brian, going back, and it was right after I saw you on Thanksgiving. And I had proposed to you. I was like, hey, man, I'm thinking, you know, here's a couple tracks for you to check out. Here's a couple tracks for you to check out. So when I went on and checked out one of your guys' episodes, and you played the, and I got the vinyl out, the Ninth Wonder.
No, the Ninth Wonders.
Yes,
got the record.
That's a good vinyl.
This isn't a big deal. It's just.
And we need to go record shopping soon.
Right.
Anytime, B. I'll take you to my spot. But you know what you guys are doing is like it brings a lot of joy to a lot of people, and you know, I mean, laughter is so important. It is so important, you know. I mean, shit is really fucked up and weird on top right now, and like to you know have this for people out there where they can just, you know, they can laugh, they can, you know, it's always been Moo's gift to be able to talk about some really, really heavy stuff, and then like just catch you with like a left hook out of nowhere, and you're doubled over laughing, you know, and about something that's like really, really heavy, you know, and that's a gift, Moo, that you know you and you know all you guys bring to a lot of people. So it's really great you guys are doing this, and I'm just so proud of you. I just want to say that.
Thank you, Jack.
Appreciate it.
Thanks, man.
I mean, you're right. There's a lot of things going on. I don't want to because I mean, this is one of the funniest. This is by far I mean, this is just jokes and just great conversation. I didn't want to get too heavy into the RNC or the protest that's going on right now in D.C. We're going to touch on that just a little bit. I did watch Melania talk at the RNC, and I will tell you that my hand was playing with my freshly shaved balls. Donald Trump is a lucky man. Melania is a beautiful woman. And let's just say that after she spoke, I went to the bathroom and I tugged my tiny little dick. I got a tiny little dick, and I tugged it over a photo of Melania on my phone because there's naked photos of the first lady online.
Oh, those never disappear, even when you're the first lady.
Jackson, there's just a plethora of shit. Like the guy from Liberty, what's the guy's name from Farwell? He's got the pool boy fucking his wife, and he's in the corner watching them fuck.
Yeah.
And it was one of Trump's guys now Trump's like, well, shit, we got to get rid of this guy. It's just a disaster.
Fantastic.
Obviously, the guy getting shot in the back 7 times. Yeah. A disaster. Just Wisconsin is a disaster.
The kid coming from Illinois to basically hunt the protesters and then killed them and then left and then just walked right by the cops, just walked right past them.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just a disaster. I mean, Jackson is right having this podcast and putting a little comedy into it. Because at this point now, even it's beyond the top. I would say, Brian, this is now over the top.
Yeah,
because you've had the protest in Portland, Jackson. We had to protest everywhere. And then after all of that, even on our earlier podcast, Jackson, we were like, oh, okay, maybe this is a change. Things are chilling out. And then I'm like, well, goddamn, they just shot this guy. During it's just like, it's almost like never ending. And it's so funny because even with us right now, you can see that there's unity there. Like we were, like you said, we were hanging out forever. Me and you, black and white, chilling, not having any problems. Me and Brian have been out. Me, Brian, we might have been Wolski, so many different people. Hell, me, Brian, and Zach. There is, I mean, it's out there because we've lived it. And it just other people need to we're the same. Like the Jacob's mother said, he said, we're all human. Yeah. And I think it's an upbringing. Like Jackson, talk a little bit about your dad, and hell, his dad's a huge jazz performer, and also has been around the brothers. So I mean, Jackson has a photo with him as a kid with fucking Al Jarreau. You don't get no goddamn blacker than Al Jarreau. Like when I was a kid, my dad used to fry potatoes, sausage, and eggs, and play Al Jarreau. Little did I know he was playing my soon-to-be best buddy's dad, because Jackson's dad was with Al Jarreau. So
I was just listening to Al Jarreau this morning when I was having my coffee. Something came on, and I was watching the video to and all I need is to get my boogie down. And all I need is I was just like, whoa, it's fun. And there's like my dad, younger than me, at the keys, bopping along with Al. I actually I got a photo. Here's a picture of TC, like it's rocking like Porsche Carreras or something.
Yeah.
But to your point, Moo, I mean, it's a dip. It's not something like I would think about as a kid. Like when, my dad was very, very inclusive with me, bringing me to the recording sessions, bringing me to the writing sessions, bringing me, to shows when I was, I mean, my earliest memories are of being in the studio when they were recording those, those records. And, I mean, very mixed, if not black heavy, with, who was in the room, who the session cats were. And, and Al just being such a tremendous influence, on my early years. It's definitely a very unique and special place to to have your formative years for sure. And I'm sure it absolutely has shaped a lot of, who I am.
Yeah.
Because of that,
Soul brother number one.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah.
I mean, when I met you, I didn't have to introduce you to Ghostface and people like that. You already knew that.
Oh, for sure. Oh, yeah.
He is still on. I mean, you'll see me get like probably like a 12-year-old with braces fanboy, like if I ever get the opportunity to meet Ghostface.
Right.
And I think that's something that Moo and I bonded over too early on, was the Woo, in that like, people like, you either get Ghostface or you don't. Like, I mean, his stuff is so, so all over like this, and I first time, and every time I hear Ghostface, I'm like, I know exactly what he's talking about.
Yeah.
I mean, like he speaks that abstract language, that I just resonate with so strongly. So we had Moo and I, like, we definitely had that out the gate, of just like, we had the commonality of, not just the hip hop, being both big hip hop heads, but also the jazz. Like, I don't know how much Moo talks about that on here, but like Moo, if there was like a Jeopardy that was just jazz, like jazz tidbits of information, Moo would just clean all the categories out.
Yeah.
I have a bunch of his records.
Yeah.
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 I know. Like in the Move, like they were divvied up in sections and everybody got their cut,
Yeah. Yeah, like jazz, you don't have the hip hop without it. Then, the sampling and just the melodicness of it, it's necessary. And speaking of hip hop, just a little, Brian, I just want to kind of throw this in there. Nas's new album, have we heard it, boys?
Yes, I've heard it.
I have not.
Oh my God! Look at Zach. Zach's face is like, I am not prepared for this.
I didn't even know. No.
He said,
before we get into the new Nas, can I just put something out there?
Please.
So about a year ago, Nas put out a track called the Jarreau of Rap. The Al Jarreau of Rap. The Jarreau of Rap, right?
Yeah.
And it sampled a song that my dad's playing on with the Al Jarreau. I mean, like, two things of that, like, I don't think that my dad could get the level of like studio street cred that brought to me, that like my dad is like, Dad, Nas sampled you. Do you know how huge that is?
Yeah.
But also, like, honestly, not just because I'm so personally connected with that because of my upbringing with, the world of Al Jarreau and the albums that him and my dad did together, but it said so much about who Nas is to me, because like Moo, Al Jarreau, his records.
Yeah.
You know what a bold statement that is, to say I'm the Jarreau of rap.
Yeah.
I mean, that's like saying like, I mean, I don't know, like, I mean, he's just, when it comes to vocal jazz singing, Jarreau's in the top 5 of any conversation.
It's like saying I'm the Kobe of this.
Yes.
So to say you're the Jordan of it, that means, okay, now you have to be like the top. But like, I'm the Kobe of this, because it's kind of all encompassing. You couldn't say, and me and Brian were just talking about this, like, I'm the LeBron of this. It's like, oh, okay, that you're like a jack of all trades. But once you say I'm the Jordan of all this, even with the NBA boycott and all that right now, Jordan actually is an owner. So Jordan talked to the other owners and was like, hey, we got to figure this shit out. Because I just now remembered, he didn't forget. Sometimes, and Brian knows this, this is some inside black shit now. We're giving you. Brian knows this. Sometimes you got to go the long way home. You just can't go the straight route. Tyler Perry did that, Brian. Remember Spike Lee and all those guys? Man, he dressed up like a woman. Why are you doing all that? Tyler Perry went the long way home, and now he owns that studio.
Yeah.
Right.
What did he do with one of the 12 hangers? Denzel Washington hanger, Will Smith and Jada Pinkett hanger.
Yeah, he named it.
Like a Spike Lee hanger. After Spike had talked all that shit about him, he flew remember Tyler flew them out. They didn't buy their own tickets or use their own private jets. Tyler showed complete class, flew them all out, and put them out in the guest suites that he owns out there. And even Spike Lee was like, you know what? I was wrong about that. He was doing that, and to the point, I thought he was humiliating us, but he had to do that to uplift all of us. Because now, what's getting made right now, Jackson?
What's that?
All those black projects that he's doing at his own studio, giving all those black. You don't even think a lot of young African Americans don't even know you can be an editor, you could be a key grip, you could be a sound guy. They don't teach you that in school, and I think that's what's going to happen now with all these. Hopefully, with all these protests in the entertainment and the sound, Zach, and all. Brothers don't know about like how to properly set this stuff up unless they're doing like music like what Brian is doing, like, okay, I know I need to get this to kind of be like a Kanye or to kind of be like a producer, like a Premier. But those are jobs on sets that I can tell you because I've been on set. When I see a brother, we look at each other like, hey, man, he's also like, you one of the only brothers acting here. And I'm like, you're like one of the only brothers on set and you're union. How hard was that for you to get on that?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And Tyler Perry's creating those opportunities.
He's creating those opportunities.
Education, the opportunities.
Yeah. It's the law. And that's kind of what LeBron is doing. And that's what Jordan now has done. He was silent for a long time, with the whole shoe shit. Obviously he made his money, but quietly, when I was in school, there was like 5 black guys I went to school with that were on Michael Jordan scholarships that he never talked about. And now with the NBA, he's an owner. They got to listen to Mike.
Yeah.
Hell, Brian and I, you all know, watch an NFL interview. The NFL guys, Peyton Manning, whoever, they're wearing Jordan brand shirts. They're wearing Jordan brand jerseys. Sometimes he now has to come up front, obviously, because where it was, but he took the long way home. LeBron is going straight through the house, though. LeBron's like, fuck it, we ain't playing, fuck everybody, boom, boom, boom. I'm like, okay. Yeah, LeBron, and at this time, you got to. I'm glad that we have the friendship that we have of us being different races and backgrounds, and that we're all smart. It's just a smart thing to do. The thing with racism, it's stupid.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. First of all, 2 people fuck and they create you. You have absolutely no control over who you are. I came out of my mom's womb looking like this skin color, this complexion. I have no control over this. How could you hate somebody for something they have no control over?
Because they're stupid.
They're
stupid.
Basically,
that's all it is.
Basically,
it's so dumb, but it's so deep. Like you can't have a conversation about that. I mean, there's conversations to be had for sure.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so you're deeply racist. Let me see if I can explain this to you. God, okay.
And by the time you have the conversation, it's so deeply rooted into their psyche that you can't reverse it.
Well, not only that, but they've done studies and shown that people actually dig their heels in further when you tell them that they're wrong and basically they feel like they're being called stupid. They're not going to be like, oh, you know what? You're right. I never thought about it that way. They're going to dig their heels in and be like, fuck you. Now I'm definitely not changing my fucking mind.
Yeah. And it's just time for a change. And I hope the change comes soon because I definitely hope that Brian and I don't on a random walk through a neighborhood of Brian going to get groceries, gets pulled over and gets shot. And that's one thing, not to be heavy, but you do have black friends and brothers, which we are. And that should be something that crosses your mind. I know Zach has thought about it, which is why I started to have Robin take me home, even from that short distance from Old Fields to my house. He was like, you probably should have Robin take you home because you might get fucked with on that short distance because you're walking home at 3 a.m.
I was going to say 2:33 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I told you right now, cops definitely not going to take you down without force.
Oh, no.
You're too big.
No,
they're going to shoot.
They're not even going to try. Yeah, they're not even going to fucking try.
Yeah.
They're not even getting out of the car with me. They're going to shoot. My dad was like, you would be a trophy.
This is one of those things we don't fucking joke about because God fucking forbid it happens and then we're sitting here like.
But it was also what Jackson was saying earlier. It was like, only Boo could make this. The cop rolls up. He rolls down the window. Like, where you going?
We're going to need the rifle for this one. We're not getting anywhere close to him with a taser.
Darky, where are you going? I'm walking home, officer. You're a big chocolate, aren't you? Yes. Hey, come here. Wait, he took off the gun.
He said, "Oh my God, he has a pocket. He has a gun in his pocket. Throw some moon pie."
Oh my God, he has a gun in his pocket. No,
It's a moon pie.
Oh my God. Okay, look, we got to end it on this. We got to get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
This is already, it's been great. It's getting racial in the wrong way.
Can I just say on a personal tip, Zach, I mean, you all know that like Moo is my nearest and dearest, like really is an extended, brother to me. And I absolutely like, I have those concerns, as well, like, in this current climate, in this world, like, about my best friend's health and well-being, so to know that there's people like you, Zach, who are like, yeah, I know it seems silly. Maybe, maybe I'm an idiot, but why don't you have Robin take you home? Let's just be safe. I've stood at Old Felds and I can see where your place is.
Yeah.
I know how close it's visually like I live right there, but Zach, you're like insisting that like, let's just play it safe and make sure that you don't even walk a half a block at 3:00 at night, just cause who knows, man, so. And I love
that. And
thank you for looking out for him,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And, I think that's the motto that you just have to take with this, especially being African-American. And Brian is a very smart guy, along with most of our friends with Brian. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, I've been pulled over like that in high school. I've had guns drawn on me, everything.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
For
yeah.
sure.
I mean, shit, I'm from Alabama. I've been called nigga by a 5-year-old white kid. So I
remember you telling me, Moo, like early on, asking like, okay, so you're from the South, like, so what's that like? What's that like? In terms of racism, you're like, oh, I will have like old grandpa, outside of a store just saying like, say boy, referring to me as boy. And I was like,
my father told me a story yesterday. He was talking to an older white guy. And he was looking at him while he was talking to him, but in the eyes. And the older white guy was like, now, where'd you say you was from again? And my dad's like, oh, I'm from California. And he kind of smiles like, oh, I knew you wasn't from around here. Because remember, you couldn't look a white guy in the eyes in the 50s.
Yeah, man.
Wow. And remember, you couldn't walk on the sidewalk. Watch a movie that's in that time period. And if you see black people and white people pass by each other on the sidewalk, it's disingenuous. It's not genuine. You would have to get off the sidewalk or stop and move out of the way like a man would do for a woman. But my dad was like, I would have to do that as a 20-year-old for like a kid. If a white 6 to 7-year-old kid, I'd have to get off the sidewalk or move out of the way. Wow. And it's real. You never know. You never know.
Not so distant history.
So hopefully there's going to be some change. Guys, you know what to do as far as getting, the voiceover stuff. You got to wait and take life seriously because people
I
out here really
do have something. I know we're going to jump off here in a minute, but I have something that I wanted to put out to you, Moo. So, I mean, we didn't really talk about this, but Moo knows this. I've been working. I got booked for a video game campaign. So I've been doing some sessions on that. Got a handful of them down. Some more coming up with it. It's been great. The work's been great. The people are great. It's all just it's great. But there's one of the fringe benefits of getting to do what I love is there is a check attached to it. So there's going to be an upgrade to my voiceover system that I'm taking on here, and getting a much high caliber mic. So that being said, Moo, we're gonna get you up to that game because that mic that you couldn't find, that doesn't come until late September. I'm giving you mine.
Don't cry.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Hey.
I'm just kidding. Like, what are we talking about?
What are we talking about?
Oh, you, Moo. Like, fucking around is 2 blocks that way on the left side.
We're right
here.
Yeah.
We are
We're
not fucking around.
Yeah.
So
what I tell you about wearing the wrong.
I like that.
Thank you, buddy.
I like that.
Thank you.
We're gonna get you up to speed, Moo, and I'm gonna get you this mic.
Thank you, old friend. And what I tell you about wearing the wrong New Balances. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been an excellent podcast. Excellent podcast with with our dear friend Jackson Cannon, voiceover artist, best friend, actor,
restaurateur,
a nigga of all trades, and Gandalf's little brother, Freddie Off,
Boozy Gandalf,
and Al Jarreau's BFF.
Yeah, and Al Jarreau's BFF. And look out for Jackson to be a Fight Club Santa Claus this Christmas during commercials because the beard is ready, he's in shape. Dude, you're gonna fucking be Santa. You're gonna be a Fight Club Santa. I can see it.
If somebody doesn't have me for that spot, it's really, it's America's loss.
You are literally the next most interesting guy. I can just see.
Oh yeah, I can see that. I can see that.
With the beard,
I can see that.
I mean, America's wasting this beard. Mm-hmm. This beard needs to be everywhere.
Or Old Spice commercial.
I definitely see the Old Spice commercial. I definitely see the Old Spice commercial.
Yeah,
well, everybody, I'm Moo.
Brian.
Zach.
And that's Jackson Cannon. We're out of here, Uncivilized. You guys fucking be safe and just look out for each other. You know, we're all humans. It's America. And
be better. Be better every day.
Be better.
Every
God
day.
Damn.
Every day.
Stop shooting niggas in the back.
Look for the opportunities to be
Stop
better.
shooting niggas in the front.
And go look at those Melania pictures. That bitch got a nice pussy.
I am terrified to know what Moo's going to do with the green screen, the green dress, green screen photos of Melania.
Oh, sexy.
No.
I feel like we're going to find out real quick.
Yeah.
It's gonna be gross.
I love you guys. I love you
Much
guys.
love.
Peace.
Thank you for having me, gentlemen.
Much love. Love.
Bye.
Peace.